Hey, everybody.
Hey, man, you always do that. Just got to wake us up.
How are you, Jimmy?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
I'm all right.
Good.
Hey, everybody. How are yins doing?
We're doing good.
Yins is doing good. Okay. Well, let's see. Is it that time again?
It is Wednesday
Whew,
night. All
my
right.
goodness. And you know, coming up on Holy Week, this week is Palm Sunday. How did it get here so fast?
I don't know.
Well, anyway, this is Pastor Will and
Jimmy.
with the world famous Will and
Jimmy Show.
from beautiful Studio Michelle in downtown
Kingsport,
Tennessee.
Tennessee.
All right.
Beautiful Studio Michelle.
Yes, yes. Wonder if Michelle will ever get back up here to check this out.
I don't know, but if she does, we're going to have her as a special
Yeah,
guest.
absolutely.
So if you're watching,
Come
be
on,
ready.
Michelle. Just make a day trip and come on up.
Yeah, be ready.
We'll treat you so many ways you're bound to remember some of them. Right?
Yes. You know, we were talking about her in my house yesterday. My daughter was saying that she wanted to ride in a limo.
Oh, yeah.
And we were talking about when we had her farewell party here. We
Yes.
picked her up in a limo.
Yes,
She didn't even know that was happening. Had a red carpet laid out for her to get into the limo.
I remember that.
It was a good day.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So we were talking. Michelle, it's all good. Talking about
All
you, all
good.
good, I promise.
Yeah, we don't talk too much bad about you. It's mostly good.
yeah.
All right.
Yes.
We're always glad to see you on Facebook from time to time and do a little bit of chatting now and again. But
Yes.
anyway, it is good to be back with you on this Wednesday night, and how quickly the time does roll around.
Feels like we were just sitting
seemed
here.
like we were just here.
Yep.
So, Jimmy, I'm going to let you talk a little bit and tell everybody, catch us up on what's going
Well,
on.
we got a lot of stuff going on right now. as you
Boy,
were talking
today has
about.
been busy.
Today has been the busiest Tuesday we've had in a good while.
Yeah.
Lots of needs today that are kind of out of the ordinary.
Could you give us an idea,
Situations.
just a little bit?
Lots of birth certificate assistance today, ID assistance, people needing marriage certificates to be able to get recent IDs because they have to show that name change. People needing transportation outside of this area for appointments. People needing transportation inside of the area for appointments. Just all kinds of needs today. And hey, you know, we were able to meet a lot of those.
Shades of Grace
Many
is
of
the
those.
one-stop shop.
Yeah.
As Steve always says, thank you for shopping Shades.
Yeah, yeah. So a lot going on today, but thankful for that. Thankful to be able to be here for these folks
Yes.
who need us in these times. Because you know, a lot of people are struggling.
Yes.
I posted this thing on Facebook last week and said, "Do you know who is struggling in life?" And it said literally everyone.
Everybody.
Be kind.
Yeah.
So everybody has their battles.
Yes.
So not just the ones who are homeless. There are people who are about to be homeless and are really trying to.
And there's a
prevent
lot of
that.
millionaires in the same boat, too.
Yeah, there are.
I mean,
You're right. You're
yeah.
right. And a lot of people who are, you know, there's more people living in this town without utilities than we could ever imagine. When I say utilities, I mean electric and or water.
Yeah.
Sometimes both.
Yes.
And just trying to survive the best way they can. And I tell you, we really need to be more thankful for what we have, because when does your power ever go out for 10 or 15 minutes? And you think, man, it needs to hurry up and come back on. We get so used to having everything.
Yeah.
What if we didn't have that?
Right.
So just try to put yourself in their shoes and understand what they're going through. I think when you do that, you have a better way of connecting with them to be able to help them.
Right.
Because a lot of times it's not just the financial assistance that they need. Sometimes they just need a non-judgmental
Right.
ear and a mouth that stays shut.
That's right. That's right.
They don't need advice. They don't need to say, well, this is what happened to me. They just need an ear, somebody to truly listen to what they're saying. So
in the scripture, Jesus said, whoever has ears to hear, let them listen. Let's hear what. Yeah, sometimes just listening makes a difference.
Yeah. And just now, we're starting a few minutes later on recording our show today than normal, but I was waiting for a gentleman who I've been working with for a few weeks, and he is from California. And to get a birth certificate from California, in all cases, you have to have this document notarized. There's no way around it. And he didn't have the proper things to get anything notarized. He didn't have the ID to get a notarization, but he was able to pull together some forms and an expired ID and some other identification from years ago, and found a notary who actually put all this together and said, okay, yep, that's you. And he was really excited. He's like, hey, I got it done. He said, and that's why I said, I'm just going to wait just a few minutes.
Yes.
And sure enough, he got it done. And this is a guy who is probably late 40s, I guess, early 50s, and he's just rebuilding his life.
I saw the gentleman here.
Yeah. He's tired of all the nonsense that has been going on for a majority of his life at this point. And he's really, I truly firmly believe he's trying to just start over.
So how did he wind up settling on Tennessee?
Well, he lived here at one point in his life, and
right.
he had a place. He's got a place to stay here with a friend. So that's how he's here in Kingsport.
Okay.
And, but we crossed a big hurdle today, being able to get that birth certificate done.
Yeah.
So now, what we do is we submit that notarized document. Takes about 2 business days for them to come back and say yay or nay, and I don't think I've ever had them say decline one. So once that is approved, the birth certificate will be here in 3 or 4 days.
Good.
California's pretty fast about that. And at that point, he's working on establishing the addresses that he needs for proof of residency. He can go get his ID and get started, because he's really eager to work. When actually he is working right now. He found an employer who would take his Social Security card and a picture of his birth certificate, which you're really not supposed to do that, but they're bending with him because he's eager to work.
Sure.
And heck, if you can find somebody that's eager to work and will show up on time and do what you need them to do, you try to find a way to keep that person. And I believe, I wouldn't say that about everybody, because sometimes that's not the case. But this man, I really believe he's trying to really turn over a new leaf. And he's, so anyway, that was just a good thing that happened today.
All right.
I'm excited about that.
Well, I know Cross Connection Church of God was here providing the meals today.
Yes.
And they were very busy. The clothing closet was ultra busy. The women's shower was busy. They blew a fuse.
They did.
They plugged in too many appliances. And then, of course, your desk has been lined up all day.
All day long.
And people have been lined up in my office. So it has been an ultra busy day for sure.
But a productive day.
Yes.
I feel good about how God worked in all these situations today. There's people that come in here, and I know you've seen it, and you know some situations that I'm talking about, that are just about to lose it.
Yeah, ready to explode.
Just about to throw in the towel and just give up.
Right.
And they come in here and they come in this building and we sit and we talk, and they leave with some hope.
They realize that we're here to try to help them. I mean, at least we're making an effort to try, and we can't solve everything, but sometimes, like you say, just listening makes them feel better, makes them calmer.
It just calms the whole situation down. And because you're right, sometimes we can't.
Right.
And get the things that are needed. There's just no possible way, but we try to find. We really do. We work every avenue we can. We
Yes.
have lots of connections in our area of people who help us from time to time, and to get these things done. And if there's, what they say, if there's a will, there's a way. And then here's a will.
I'm will. And Jesus is the way.
Yes. We try,
Yeah.
but very good day. But we do have a lot coming up. As you're saying, we're right here on the
Right.
edge of Holy Week,
Yes.
and we've got Palm Sunday on Saturday.
They're having Palm Saturday coming up. Yeah.
Yeah, and here it is. It is springtime.
Yeah.
So we're real chilly today.
And we're supposed to be getting tonight. Well, you're getting this on Wednesday. So if the forecast holds true, it would have been in the mid-20s this morning. But, that doesn't last but a few hours. The sun comes out, everything. It doesn't do a great deal of damage.
No.
Not this time of year.
No.
Summer is on the way. The hummingbirds are soon to be here too.
Very soon.
So-
yes.
Have any of you sighted the hummingbirds yet?
No.
Go ahead and
Not
put
yet.
your feeders out. Get them ready because they're making their way northward.
Yep.
And
Another
they should
couple
be
of
here.
weeks.
Well, any day now.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I've heard of one or two people in the really close proximity that already have seen them. So yeah, they'll be here.
Yesterday morning, or I'm sorry, it was Sunday morning, I woke up and looked out the window, and there was a beautiful robin sitting on a branch, just sitting there singing away, and I could hear it through the window. And I actually I just took a picture of it. Later that evening, I went back and sat in my recliner, looked out that window, and that same robin was sitting in the same spot. Exact same spot. I don't know if they've been sitting there all day.
How do you know it's the same one?
It told me.
Okay, all right. Little
Well,
bird
if it
told me.
wasn't the same one, it was in the exact same
yeah.
spot.
All
So,
right.
Good sign.
Yeah.
It's got to be good, something good.
You know what the robin said, right?
What's that?
I get the early worm.
Yep.
Red, red robin comes bobbing along. Yeah.
Yep, sure does.
Anyway, let them know what happened at church on Saturday and what to expect this coming week.
Yep. Well, we don't know what to expect this week. You never know what to expect. But it was a good service. I love our choir, so thankful for everyone who participates in that. And but a good service, good online service. Viewing on Sunday.
Yeah.
We're up, I think, about 25,000 right now.
Let me look.
Which
I'll
is
tell
kind
you.
of about our average.
Yeah, I'll tell you what it
Let's
is
see.
here
Let's look and see.
as of now. Let's see. We are on 21,100.
21,000. Okay.
21,000 and still moving up.
And still climbing. And
Still climbing on up
Yep.
the mountain.
And had a good attendance. Still had, we had a lot going on
Yes.
in the town. We had the rescheduled Martin Luther King parade here.
And I hadn't heard a word about it. I did not even
It was
know.
I saw something about it on Friday and
Okay.
had forgotten about it, but I meant to mention it. But last year they did the same thing. It was real cold in January.
Right.
And they rescheduled for April. And it happened right after our church service ended, and it was a very low attended event. I don't know if you remember that. There was,
Yeah.
But this year, wow, the people just kept
I
coming
heard
and
they
coming
did.
and
Yeah.
coming, and it was a beautiful,
Well,
beautiful afternoon.
I had to, didn't have to, I had the honor
Yes.
of going up to Norton, Virginia to the funeral home for Tanya in memory of her mom and to meet some of her family. So I wasn't able to participate in the event this year, but I'm glad to know that there was a good turnout.
It was a very good
And
turn.
we do want to send our sympathy to Tanya and
Yes.
thank all of you for reaching out to her in these days. It's been hard for her.
And continue to do that. I
Yes.
know Tanya's a dear friend.
Yes, she
and
is.
I know she's really hurting right now.
Yes,
And was it today she was here, or was it yesterday?
yesterday.
Yesterday.
Yeah.
And I know she's broken, as could be understanding, but yeah, still
Well, on
reach out
top
to her.
of the fact of her mom passing away, she returned from the funeral and was at the hospital sitting with her very best friend of about 28 years and holding her hand as she passed away. So she's kind of really double, she's hurting in more ways than one.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
so
very difficult.
remember her.
Yes, and the family Miss Martin, who
Yes.
passed away too.
Yes, Janice Martin.
Janice Martin.
That's her friend.
Mhm.
Yes.
And Jadis has been here.
Yes, she's
before.
been here in worship.
Yeah,
Yes.
she has. And
Oh,
she,
speak. Guess who it is?
there we go. We'll pause. We'll be
Hold
right
on.
back.
Be right back.
Wow, that's exactly what we were just
Yeah,
talking about.
We're just talking about Tanya, and that was Tanya. Her friends, family members are just leaving the funeral home, and they're wanting to come and talk with us here at the church. This is life at Shades of Grace,
Yes, it is.
and I'm so thankful. You just wouldn't want to be anywhere else, would you?
No,
I really
no,
wouldn't.
no.
I'm grateful.
becomes part of you,
Yeah,
and you can't shake it.
right.
And
You
I don't
can-
want to shake it.
You can take the boy out of Shades of Grace, but you can't take the Shades of Grace out of the boy. It gets in your blood. But no, that's just a prime example of things that we're talking about, and then it shows up.
Happens
So
often.
yeah.
So,
Anyway,
Yes.
what were we
but
discussing?
we
here?
were just talking about Palm Sunday coming up,
Okay.
and then of course we'll have Good Friday coming up next.
Yes.
And we'll have our annual Walk with the Cross starting at 12. If you look at the extended forecast right now, it's looking like it's going to warm up around
Beautiful.
that time.
Good. Good.
And last year was perfect. So
Yes.
praying for that kind of weather, because we've had about every kind of weather
Yeah.
you can imagine.
Yeah.
It's been snow flurries, raining, hot.
I remember
You
that
know?
one, the first or second year we did it, that driving rain.
Oh,
Remember?
yeah.
When
Yeah.
Allie came, remember that Allie came?
Yep.
And Allie is somewhere in Kansas or Nebraska, but Allie, if you're viewing this, I know sometimes Allie Kling does view our services, so hey, we haven't forgotten you, okay? If you know her, tell her we're talking about her, okay? She moved away years ago, but was a part of us for several years. Yeah,
So that's coming up Friday, and then of course we'll have our Easter Vigil service on
Right.
Saturday,
Yes.
celebrating Easter.
And then we'll be able to put our big flowering cross out.
I got it ready.
Yes.
We've got it pulled out
Yeah,
and ready to go.
yeah.
So, and we got some breaking news here tonight.
All right, break
on
her
the
out.
Will and Jimmy
Go ahead
show.
and break it.
I saved this to break it for tonight. So we talked about our movie matinee. Guess what? It has been scheduled.
Yes.
Thursday, April the 24th, 2 o'clock. We're going to be viewing a movie called I Can Only Imagine.
Mm-hmm.
And I know everybody knows that song. It's a very popular song by Mercy Me. But do you know the story behind the song?
I do
And
now.
this is well, you're going to know more about it too. But the movie, and this is a summary of the movie. It says, growing up in Greenville, Texas, Bart Millard suffered physical and emotional abuse at the hands of his father. When his father became terminally ill, he finds redemption by embracing his faith and rediscovering his love for his son. Years later, Bart's troubled childhood and mended relationship with his dad inspires him to write the hit song I Can Only Imagine as the singer of the Christian band Mercy Me.
Yeah.
So it's a very good movie. I watched it.
And you know, Landon sings that one too,
He
doesn't
does.
he?
So
yeah.
we might incorporate that in there
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
And that was so.
Well, I'm excited.
Thursday the 24th, 2 o'clock, we'll have some pizza,
Yeah.
theater popcorn, snacks, drinks. Great crowd for the first one when we played the Forge. So we invite you to come. And I know a lot of people can't be here maybe during the day, but if you can, come down, spend a couple hours with us. You won't regret it. The last one went so well. I know you had to go to
Yeah, a funeral, yeah.
and you had to leave, but
Well, maybe we could do a double header and do one in the afternoon at 2, and then do one later that evening for the ones who had to work.
yeah, we could do that.
Do a double header, and
We
that
could
way
do that.
could get everybody here. I
I
bet
would-
you'd
you know
have
what?
some folks come to both times.
I wouldn't mind playing the first movie again at night,
Yeah.
even a
Right.
Friday, do a Friday
Right.
night.
Right.
So many people commented on that movie that were here about how impactful it was,
Yeah.
and it was wonderful to see so many people come in that are friends that are from the streets here of Kingsport. Several people that came that we've never met before.
Right.
And really set. And I was up in the audio booth, so I had like that view of everything, and people were really in with this movie, really tuned in with this.
I've heard good things. So,
we
Yeah.
may do that. I think that's
Good.
a great idea. We've got
Yeah.
the space, the screens, and the sound system,
and we'll have the popcorn.
We'll have the popcorn.
Yeah.
Real deal
Yeah.
popcorn.
Got to
So-
have good popcorn to have a movie, right?
Yep. So Thursday, April 24th, and boy, I hear the phone just ringing.
Yes, it's ringing away. I think Terry is here in the
He
building.
is here helping
Hopefully.
us out. Yeah. but it has
Yeah.
been ringing the whole time we've been in here. So
Right.
that's just a few things that are coming up. Of course, we have church here Saturday morning.
Right.
Music will start at 10, do a little choir practice so you'll know what the songs are, and then
Yep.
the service will start at 10:30.
Yep.
So we invite you to come join
And we
us.
just had a beautiful service this past week with the communion and the illustration. You know, you just have to be here to see it, but it was good.
Yes, it was
Yes, it
very
really
good.
was.
And a lot of participation.
Yes.
Several first-time guests.
Yes, we did.
That were here with us too Saturday
Yep.
morning. So, and everyone participated.
Yes.
That was great.
Yep.
That was great. So,
Absolutely.
so yeah, that's just a few things that's going on.
Well, good. Well,
And,
I've got something here on my desk.
all right. Let's see what you got.
Oscar came by just a little while ago and visited with us. It's always good to see our buddy Oscar.
It is.
But his wife Katie had made some aprons for the volunteers who work in the kitchen, making sandwiches. That looks awfully small there, Jimmy, does it?
Well, maybe
Let's
we're
see.
just big.
Let's see, how would that work?
Yeah, that'll work. That would work.
That'd
for
make a
you.
good bib.
Yeah.
I mean, I need that for a bib. And it's got a place here to catch all the
Hey,
crumbs.
there you go.
Um,
That looks nice. Very nice.
But anyway, we have the red with the black letters and the black with the red letters. And Miss Katie made those for Shades of Grace. They look very professional. Thank you,
yes,
Katie.
thank you, Katie.
All right. By the way, the Mendota store, I guess, is open under new management this year. Katie and Lisa and the girls have decided to retire.
Yeah.
But the store is going to continue under different management. They're going to have a bakery and all kinds of things. So when you're out and about, want to go kayaking or canoeing on the river, go on up to Mendota and stop in the country store. But that's Katie who made these, Oscar's wife.
And if you don't kayak or canoe, like some of us, it's just a beautiful drive.
It
It
is.
really is.
Yes, it is.
Take a Sunday afternoon and just go up and no time schedule. Just take the drive and just enjoy the scenery.
And Oscar says a church alive is worth the drive.
Right, that's it.
And it's a little bit of
It
a
is.
drive, but
Yeah, it's not too far.
nah,
but,
not bad.
it's a beautiful drive, beautiful area. One of my favorite areas. I love it
Yes.
up in that area.
Right.
It's beautiful. So yeah, take that.
Yep.
I highly encourage you. Now I've never been to the store.
Okay.
Every time that I've been there, it was either out of season or was past their operating
Well,
hours.
I was there last summer. Remember, we were gone in September. Was it? Well, we closed in July for the 4th of July, and John Nagy and I drove up there because they had been wanting to see him. And lo and behold, as we're getting ready to leave, there went 3 little pigs, spotted pigs, except they weren't real little. They were pretty good sized spotted pigs. And I started laughing. I said, only I could go to Mendota and find the 3 little pigs.
Yeah, yeah.
It was just so funny. They were just going up and down the road squealing, you know. So you never know what you're going to see or who you're going to meet along the way.
That's true. That's true.
I wanted to mention 1 or 2 things here. One of our friends, Tony Bowling, passed away, and there's not going to be any services or visitation, but she was a dear friend of ours. I was her pastor for 10 years, and they're from the immediate area here. So we want to extend sympathy to her husband, Bill, and to, I think her daughter is in Colorado and maybe a son in California. Wherever they are, we extend our sympathy. And we've had several funerals here. Didn't we do another funeral this past Friday?
We did.
Yeah.
We sure did. Yes.
Who was that? Let's see. That was, oh gosh.
You had to ask me, didn't you?
Sorry about that.
Billy Sue wrote.
Billy Sue. And you know, I've had several people typed in and said they went to school with her.
Oh, yeah.
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 She was well known. So, yeah, we extend sympathy to her family. We do a lot of funerals, don't we?
We have done a lot this year already.
Yes.
We sure have.
And
And
I wanted to.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say we're probably going to be scheduling one later today.
I would
for
say
the
so.
upcoming week or so. But yeah,
Yeah.
this is great. What
Yeah,
you're
and one
going to
other thing I wanted to mention, everybody who's been in Shades for any length of time remembers Waylon, and he died, it's been over a year now. Waylon died at a very young age, but his father had died not too long before that. But his mom, Deborah, works on the weekends, but when she does come to worship, she's always brought her little dog, Jazzy. Just that little tiny dog wrapped up in a blanket. And little Jazzy, I mean, she's just a tiny little dog.
Little Yorkie.
Yorkie, and never made a sound. You would never know it was in the building. And she texted me just a couple of days ago, brokenhearted. And I want you to say a prayer for her because she was getting ready to come to church Saturday morning. And she came out with Jazzy. And wherever they live in the apartment, somebody came out about the same time with a big dog. And the big dog jumped on Jazzy and broke its neck and killed it. And she's just devastated because she has leaned on that little dog, and it's been her support through the tragedies of the last couple of years. So Debbie, if you're watching this, we're praying for you.
Yes.
Hang in there. It's going to be okay. Several people have reached out. They want to try to help you in some way. Then I want to mention that we are going to participate in the Bays Mountain Methodist Camp this year. And we have one camper so far from Shades of Grace that has registered. And we're glad CJ is going to be going this year. And if you are a teenager and want to go to Camp Bays Mountain, let us know. There are scholarships available. Shades of Grace will pay your way if we need to, if you're interested in going to the camp. Okay, we've got to invest in our young people.
Yes.
It's very, very important. And this is one of the best things I know.
It's a great camp.
Yes.
We have sent several over the last
Yes.
couple of years that have all just absolutely loved it. Want to go back again. CJ is going for the second time.
What do they call that? Spelunking?
Well, that's part of it, yeah. He's going to be spelunking.
Going in the cave. They do
He's
that.
in the senior adventure
Okay.
week. So it said swimming, caving, climbing, all kinds of things.
All
But
right.
there's different themes for different ages and
Right.
different weeks. So if it's something you are interested in, I believe it starts in June and maybe the different weeks go up through the second week in July.
Right.
But if it's something that anyone's interested in, please let me know.
Just call the
soon.
church here, talk to Jimmy.
Yeah, because
we'll give you that
they
information.
do fill up.
Yeah, they do.
And we found that out the hard way the first
Yes.
year, and we really had to get creative.
And luckily they had a spot for CJ.
We pulled some strings to get him in there.
Yeah.
And so, if that's something you're interested in or know someone who is, have them contact me here within probably the next 2 weeks.
Right.
I wouldn't wait any longer than that.
And one other thing we're going to be doing in September, and that's going to be here before you know it, but we're going to have a first time ever ladies retreat sponsored by Shades of Grace, and it's going to be at Camp Bays Mountain.
Yes.
The United
Yes.
Methodist Camp. And there again, there is a cost. It's really minimal for all that you get. But if you cannot afford that, Shades of Grace again will give you scholarship to participate. But call here, let us know. We'll put you in touch with Cheryl. And it's going to be a wonderful event for women.
Yes.
And we're not going to limit it to only the congregation, but if you're a friend of someone in the congregation or just think you'd like to be a part of this, let us know so we can start planning early.
Yes. Yeah.
And I think she said she is going to offer a discount for those who register or pre-register early. So that's something we've never done before, but try to think about that.
And that's more breaking news
Yes,
tonight.
it is breaking
on the
news.
Will and Jimmy show. But I'll have those details out later this
Yes.
week.
Yes.
Just keep checking on our Facebook
Yes.
page, and we'll have more details about that. But it's September the
last weekend.
Yeah.
27th through the 29th, I
I
believe.
think it's something. I think that's right.
And that's only, 5 or 6 miles?
6 miles, yeah.
From
Not far
Shades
at
of
all.
Grace. It's very close, but it's a state-of-the-art camp. I mean, it's beautiful, isn't it?
Yes.
Up
it
on the
is.
side of the
Yes.
mountain,
Yes.
has a swimming pool, the lodges. It's just a great camp.
Many of the lodges are new,
Brand new.
and
Yeah.
they've really done a lot of work to that.
Yeah.
But it's a Friday evening, a Saturday night, and then a Sunday.
Close out on Sunday morning. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
it's-
ladies, there you go.
yeah, that's exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Men, you're
lots
going to
going
men are going to just have to stay home and mow the grass.
Shucks. Well, I could say something,
Anyway.
but I won't. I'll be nice.
Can I share
All right,
something here, Jimmy?
Yeah, tell us about this.
A couple of weeks ago, we did the funeral here for Miss Helen Carson, and I miss her already coming in. And her John was just at the door, her son. John, I had not talked to him since the funeral and he's still, he's brokenhearted.
Broken, yeah.
I told him we loved him and we're praying for him, but he couldn't talk about it. But I read this at her funeral, and this had been hanging in my office for years. It was actually brought here in a frame when we first opened the church, but it's called The Street Caller, and I just felt like sharing that.
Yeah, it's good.
And it's by Myra Eves Baumgartner, and she was an Appalachian author and poet. And just listen to this. And I did share this at Helen's service. How I love you, my homeless child. Dear street dweller. That's hard, Jimmy.
It is hard.
Dear street dweller of life's modern stage. I too was a man of the streets in scenes of the New Testament age. I knew not wealth nor fame, had no place to lay my head. Instead of the security and comforts of home, I roamed hedges and byways instead. I was searching there for my lost sheep, for those who were alone and afraid, had no shepherd to show them the way, nor to care that they had even strayed. Many were called from the streets. Come, follow me. Now they're sheltered within my fold for all eternity. And can't we think of so many of those that's true? For nailed upon a wooden cross with my hands and feet pierced through, I purchased their eternal life for you, my child, for you. And I've prepared a place for you where streets are paved with gold. There are no tears, no sorrows there, and the half has ne'er been told. Listen, and your heart shall hear the voice of the shepherd call. Come, little lamb, learn of me, for I've not changed at all. The street caller is still calling. Dear street dweller of life's modern age, for he too is a man of the streets, as in the scenes on the New Testament stage. So the street caller, I just thought that spoke, and especially coming up on Holy Week, it talks about being nailed to a wooden cross with hands and feet pierced. It was just a good time to read that.
It was, yes.
All right, thank you all for allowing me to do that.
Thank you for doing
Yeah.
that. Thank
All
you
right.
for having that
You're very welcome.
inspiration to do
Yeah.
that for her service, because I think it was
It
perfect.
was appropriate.
It was absolutely perfect. And so let's see. Well, I've got some questions for
All
you,
right.
because I know our time is
And we
flying
don't
by.
have a special guest.
No, it's just
We've had so many people in this building there. I bet you we had 40 special guests. We just didn't have time to ask them to do anything.
Didn't have time today. We
Yeah.
sure didn't. But I'll ask you a few questions because we'll have our little meeting here in a
Yes.
few minutes. And okay, so these are a biblical question and some riddles.
Okay, I like riddles.
So let's do the question first.
Okay.
Which New Testament book has the Sermon on the Mount?
That would be Matthew.
That would be Matthew. And we've been playing movies. Have you noticed here in the last few days you had
Yes.
suggested playing
Yes.
some? So we were actually playing this other day, and it was just a movie, like a 4-hour movie
Wow.
called The Gospel of Matthew.
All right.
And it showed the Sermon on the Mount.
All right.
So, and somebody mentioned that to me today that they enjoyed
Good.
the movies that we're playing. And okay, this is a riddle. I am the place where Jesus performed his first miracle. What place am I?
Cana.
I thought you would sing the song.
In the little Cana town, the word spread all around. How'd that go? I don't know.
He turned the water into wine.
And that was my brother, Johnny.
That was. All right.
All right.
Biblical riddle number 2.
All right.
I am the leader who brought the walls of Jericho down. Who am I?
When the walls came tumbling down, 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 down. Y'all go ahead. Be counting the countdown. I'm giving you 20 countdown.
Type it in.
And the Jericho. Let's see, who was it, Jimmy? Let's
I am
see.
the leader who brought down the walls of.
Well, I'll put it this way. I believe his name in the Old Testament is synonymous with the word we use for Jesus in the New Testament.
That's it.
Yeshua, which is pronounced by us Joshua.
Joshua. You got it.
And the walls came tumbling down.
All right.
Down.
Ed, you got me off track. Last riddle. I am the disciple who looked after Mary after the death of Jesus. Who am I?
You know, we'll be hearing a lot about that in the next week or 10 days as we go through Holy Week, because all the disciples were scared when they saw Jesus being tried, arrested, going to be crucified. They all scattered. His friends left him. But there was one disciple who was the youngest of all the disciples, who always speaks of himself in the first person tense. When he's quoting the scriptures, when he's reading the text, when it's written of him in the gospel, he is always referred to as that disciple whom Jesus loved. He was referring to himself. And I've always said, if you and I could truly get a hold of that fact and know that we, every one of us, is that disciple whom Jesus loved. Because if you were the only one, or if I was the only one, Jesus would have still loved us that much. And his name was John.
That's it. It's John.
Beautiful story.
Very.
John the Beloved.
Great story. That you're right. If we would just realize that.
There's a great sermon
We
in
would
that.
just realize that.
We are that disciple whom Jesus loved.
Well, I would really like to put the trailer in for the movie tonight.
Do it.
But I'm afraid to, because I'm afraid, let's not. I tell you what, I'm going to share a link in the comments
There you go.
tonight.
Okay.
And it will be the YouTube link to go and just watch a 2-minute preview of this film.
Okay.
I'm really talking this up because I really think it's a great
Oh,
film.
I'm excited to see this.
I really want to see a lot of people come out and join us. So it'll be in the comments tonight.
Yeah, I want to
as
see
well.
it.
Yeah, and we'll be announcing that over the next few days
All
too.
right.
So, all right. Well, it's been something. No, it's been a great time.
Let's see. We've been on for 37 minutes.
Yeah, a little bit short.
Sorry we didn't have a special
Yeah.
guest for you tonight.
But man, what a day! You're right.
It's-
We thinking about it now. We had several people here today.
That could have made a
That
great
could
guest.
have, but it
But
was-
we
it's
just
too
couldn't
busy.
get slowed down to even talk to them about it.
No.
It's been a good day, though.
Yes,
It's
it has.
every day at Shades of Grace is a good day.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
I agree. We won't be
Every
erased.
day with Jesus is sweeter than the day before. Every day with Jesus, I love him more and more.
Where's Landon when we need him?
Where is he when we need? Landon, thank you for all you do.
All
Thank
right.
you, Jimmy, for all you do.
Thank you for all you do.
All right. God bless
we
you.
appreciate
all
you.
of our volunteers,
Yes.
old and young.
Yep, all of them. Everybody.
Oh,
Thank you for joining
God
us
bless.
tonight.
We love you all. Thank
Yes.
you.
Good night.
Talk to you. See you Saturday morning right here, 10 o'clock for music, 10:30 worship. I'm excited.
I am
We're going to
excited.
wave our palms.
Yes.
Whee!
You don't want to miss it. See you Saturday.
Bye.
Good night.